Hello, 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 my friends, and welcome to another episode of Terror Radio Podcast. If this is your first time joining me, then welcome. This is a podcast dedicated in bringing you the best of horror and thriller, old-time radio broadcasts, as well as original stories. I'm your host, Keith, aka the Radio Show Nerd, and today's episode is entitled Blind Terror. So, without further ado, this is Terror Radio. The two radio series highlighted tonight are OBLER'S Plays and Quiet Please. Our first radio play is an adaptation of the controversial novel Johnny Got His Gun, which was written by Dalton Trumbull and published in 1939. This was very, very controversial because it was seen as an anti-war novel and was banned in several countries. Now, some will see this as just drama, but in my humble opinion, I feel there are many horrific elements to this narrative, because we are inside of a man's mind who is literally, I won't say chained, but is at odds with his own body due to many limitations, due to many physical limitations. But you'll see what I'm talking about as the story progresses. Following that is, this was first broadcasted on OBLER'S Plays on March 9th, 1940, and it stars the great James Cagney. Following that is the radio play Symphony in Minor, which was first broadcasted on September 13th, 1948, on Quiet Please. Now, you all know the drill. Sit back, turn down the lights, and listen to Johnny Got His Gun, followed by Symphony in Minor.
OBLER'S Plays. A Story in the Night. Tonight, James Cagney in Arch Obler's dramatization of the most talked-of book of the year, Johnny Got His Gun, by Dalton Trumbull.
We tell you of Joe Bonham. 22 years ago, he went to war. They carried him back from that war. They carried him back because he had no arms, no legs, no ears with which to hear, no eyes with which to see, no mouth with which to speak. Today, he lies alone in a room in a hospital close to your city. He's living flesh, and he waits. Your world is shut off from Joe Bonham. He has only the world within his own mind. We tell you of Joe Bonham. These are the thoughts of a boy who 22 years ago went to war.
Somebody listen to me. I'm talking to you. Somebody listen to me. Gotta talk to somebody. It's dark and lonely. Somebody... No. Going out of my head again. How can you hear what ain't got a tongue, ain't got a mouth, ain't got... No, won't think of that anymore. Gotta think of something, yeah, something else. If I don't think, my head, yeah, quick, think about when I was a kid.
Hey, Joe, come on in swimming.
Yeah, swimming. When I was a kid, I went swimming. Dive in the river, feel the water against my legs and my arms. Now I haven't got any No, won't think of that. Think about my town.
It's the nicest little old place on earth, Shale City.
I gotta remember.
Hamburger, get your hot hamburger, get your hot hamburger.
Yeah, best hamburgers in the world.
All right, boy, here's 30 cents. Go down and get 3 hamburgers.
Pa.
Oh, they're delicious. If I could only cook like this.
Ma, No, don't think of her. Think about County Fair.
See the lady cut in half the fourth part of $1.
On the second ride, a defying death inside a straight up and down circular wall.
I can't remember anymore. I gotta remember. If I don't remember things, I'll think, and if I think... No. I gotta remember something. Something. Girls. Think about girls. Quick, think about girls.
Joe.
Karine?
Joe, I'm scared. I'm so scared.
No.
Kiss me. Hold me.
We shouldn't have turned the lights out. Your old man will be sore.
He understands.
Your lips.
Don't go. They'll kill you.
I gotta go. When you're drafted, you gotta.
Oh, Joe. Joe, I don't want you to go. Hold me. Tight. Maybe we'll never get another chance. Now, Joe. In your arms, Joe. In your arms. In your arms.
My arms. My arms.
What?
Joe, hold me. Don't go, Joe.
Get your gun.
Joe, I'm part of you now.
As that great
Don't go,
Theodore
Joe.
Roosevelt said. All aboard, soldier. All aboard, soldier.
No. Hold me, Joe. Hold me. Both your arms tight around me. Both your arms tight around me. Both your arms tight around me. Both your arms. No, stop.
My arms. I haven't got any arms. You hear me, Karine? I haven't got any arms. I haven't got any arms. What's the matter with me? I didn't find it out yesterday or the day before. It was
1939, 1938, 1937.
a long time ago.
Joe.
Karine, you're still in my head. I'll tell you, as if you were here. Here's how I found out everything about myself. I woke up like out of a dream. It was like I was in the water. I tried to swim, but I didn't have any arms. I started to kick my legs to float up in the air out of the bed, but I couldn't kick. I didn't have any I threw my head back. I started to yell. I only started, but how can you yell when you haven't got them? I began to reach out, Karine. The only way I could reach out, with the nerves of my skin. The hole in my face. Feel the skin creeping around the edge of it. It went. I was blind. What a lousy dream. Nobody could live like that. Just dream, and that's all. But it wasn't a dream. It wasn't a dream. Mother, where are you? Hurry, Mother, hurry, and wake me up. I'm having a nightmare, Mother, where are you? Mother, listen to me. I can't stand it. Mother, please, tell me it's not me. Not me, no, not me. Oh, please, not me. That's the way I found out. A long time ago. Who was I telling that to?
Joe.
Oh, Karine. Still in my head. In my heart. Now I'll tell you about how I found out about time. About the days. Knowing about the days you're living through, that's important, see? But all I remembered was... died in the dugout, and then... and that was all. A day in September 1918. And that's all. Time stopped then. Start time over again. But how could I catch hold of time when I was caught inside myself? Vibrations. I had it. When the nurse came into the room, the vibration of her footsteps running up through the floor, through the bed, through the springs of the bed, into me. All I had to do was count the seconds, then the minutes, then the hours between each visit she made, until I had 24 hours counted up in my head. And after that, I'd be able to figure the days out just by counting up her visits. One day, the minute the nurse left me, I began to count.
1, 2, 3,
second by second,
4,
second
5,
by second.
6,
When I
7,
counted 60,
8,
that
9,
meant a minute,
10,
as nearly as I was able to figure it.
13,
But I always lost count. I'd think of something else, then I'd lose count again.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
Day after day after day, but I could never keep track. I couldn't. And all the time, the days were running away from me. And then, one day it happened. The skin on the side of my neck, the half of a forehead above the mask. Lying there all the years going by, I got to thinking that maybe there was some way I could use those pieces of skin. Skin free to the air. They were healthy. I got to thinking what a man did with his skin.
To feel with.
But that didn't seem enough.
To sweat with.
Yeah, sweat with. Hot and cold.
Sunrise and sunset.
Just like that. The idea came into my head just like that. All I had to do was to feel with my skin. When it changed from cool to warm on that little piece of skin, it'd be sunrise and the beginning of a day. I got to thinking about the nurse and how many visits she made me each day and when she made them. Yeah, I'd better start with the nurse. She changes the bedding. In a hospital, they must change bedding in the morning, maybe around 8 o'clock. So all I got to do is wait till she changes the bedclothes. That'll mean it's morning. Then wait, maybe 18, 20 hours, and that'll be next morning. That'll be sunrise. You can feel the heat of sunrise against your skin, yeah. So I waited until the next time she changed the bedding. She walked away. Calm down, because you haven't proved anything yet. Calm down and wait and count her visits. Number 2, I dozed off and woke. Visit number 3, time got all mixed up. Then 4, and then the 5th time. And then all of a sudden, I knew it was happening. My heart stopped, my breath stopped. I knew it was happening. Slow at first, crawling along my skin. Warmer and warmer, the rising sun. In my room. I'd won. I'd caught up with time again. The sun. It was dawn. It was dawn for the world and for me. I could smell the dawn. Yeah, me without a face lying there, and the smell of the dew on the grass, and me without eyes, shading my eyes and seeing the sun coming up over the mountains back home, and the hills going pink and lavender like the inside of a seashell. The sun warming my little piece of skin, and me seeing without eyes the town where I was born, and me without ears hearing the lowing of the cows waiting to be milked, and babies kicking in their cribs and rubbing their eyes with their fists. It's sunrise, and I've got it. And now I'll always know when it's sunrise, and they can't take it away from me. Thank you, God. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I may never have anything else, but I'll always have dawn and the morning sunlight. A year went by fast. I was a busy guy. I learned a lot. Yeah, could even tell my nurses apart. The day nurse always walked to the bed with 4 steps. She was always the same, but the night nurses seemed to change. One of them must have cried when she looked at me. I felt her tears wet on me. I like to think she was young and beautiful. But every night, summer and winter, week in and week out, month in and month out, every night I was with you, Karine. With you, darling. My arms around you, yours around me. With you, Karine.
Joe, my darling.
Close to you.
My dearest.
My arms around you.
My lover.
And yours around me.
Mine.
With you, Karine.
Oh, Joe. Joe.
2 years went by after I discovered time. 3 years went by after I discovered time. The 4th year started awfully slow. One day I felt vibrations. Vibrations heavier and heavier, and then they stopped. I knew they were standing around the bed. After all these years, visitors. And all at once, crazy thoughts went through my head.
It may be your mother.
No.
Karine.
No, not Karine. Not Karine standing by my bed. You can't see me. Not this way. Not you, Karine. Go away. Go away. Go away. Go away. Go away. Go away. Then a hand came to rest on my forehead. A man's hand.
Doctors.
Yes. Maybe doctors come to examine me. Oh. Somebody was touching at my nightshirt over my left breast. The cloth fell back against my chest again. It was heavy now, weighed down by something. Medal. They given me a medal. Me, a medal. Me, a medal. Me! The generals were here, around my bed. The generals. The big guys, the famous guys who still had arms and legs and could still see and talk and smell and taste. In my throat, I felt a tearing of something that used to be a voice. I was talking to them, and they couldn't hear me. I was saying, listen, big guys, I'm lying here like a side of beef, and for what?
War. We're going to war.
Yeah, someone said that, so I went. But why? Why? Somebody just said,
Let's go out and fight for liberty.
liberty? What kind of liberty? How much liberty and whose idea of liberty? A guy says, come on, let's fight for liberty. And he can't show you liberty. If you're going to die for liberty, you've got to know in advance what liberty is and whose idea of liberty they're talking about and just how much of that liberty we're going to have. Maybe that's a bad way to think. The big guys say it's bad, and I heard them. In the schools and the newspapers and the legislatures and the congresses, that's their business. They sound wonderful.
This ground is sanctified by blood.
They shall not have died in vain.
Our noble dead.
But I'm asking you, big guys, what do the dead say? Did any one of them ever come back and say...
I'm glad I'm dead, because death is always better than dishonor.
Did they say...
I'm glad I died to make the world safe for democracy.
Nobody but the dead know whether all these things people talk about are worth dying for or not. And the dead can't talk. So the words about noble death and sacred blood and honor and such are all put into dead lips by those that got no right to speak for the dead. I'm asking you, big guys, how did they feel about it just before they died? Did all those guys die thinking of democracy and freedom and liberty and honor? You know they didn't. They died crying in their minds like little kids. They died crying for the face of a friend. They died crying for the voice of a mother or father or wife or baby. They died moaning and crying for life. I know. I'm the nearest thing to a dead man on earth. There's nothing bigger than life. What's noble about having your legs and arms blown off? What's noble about being blind and deaf and dumb? I'm dead, big guys, and I died for nothing. You hear me? Nothing. You hear me, big guys? But they didn't hear me. Just as you couldn't hear me, Karine, if you were standing next to me. All the generals heard was the blowing of the air and the tube in my throat. When I heard the vibrations of the footsteps that said they were going, I began to think. The vibrations. Up to now, I thought only of the vibrations coming to me. How about making my vibrations go to them? Yes, vibrations to them. A footstep on the floor is a kind of vibration. The tap of a telegraph key is another kind. I had it. When I was a kid, Bill Harper and me, we had a telegraph set. Used to telegraph to each other. Dot dash, dot dash, dot dash, dot. I remember the code, the Morse code. All I had to do to break through to the people outside was to lie in bed and dot dash to the nurse. I could give messages and receive messages. I raised my head from my pillow. I dropped it. Then I did it twice quickly. That was it. With my head, raised my head, let it fall on the pillow. The Morse code. SOS, help. I tapped it out of my pillow with my head. SOS. All over the world, that meant help. SOS. Help, help. Then the door of the room jarred open and the nurse's footsteps came up to the bed. SOS. SOS. Over and over again. She was looking at me. I knew it. SOS. Help me. SOS. Help me. SOS. Oh, why can't you understand? SOS. Help me. SOS. Help me. SOS. SOS.
Help me, SOS. Help me.
My head full of it. Tapping it out with my head over and over. Over and over. Couldn't stop. Why won't they hear me? Why won't they understand? Why won't they hear me? Karine, why? No. There isn't any Karine. There isn't nothing. I've been talking in my head. There's nothing for me. Nothing.
SOS.
I don't know what day it is.
SOS.
I don't know what month it is. I don't know what year it is. I've been tapping for years and years and nobody hears me. Nobody. Someone's come into the room. Footstep right. My regular day nurse. Hers are heavy. Who is this one? Start tapping now. What? What is this one doing? Opening the nightshirt. She's moving the tip of her finger against my skin. What? Huh? Drawing something. Huh? I know. The letter M. I know. Shake my head. Yes, I know. I understand. It's M. Wonderful M. Writing something else on my skin. E. Yes, I got that. R. Yes. Another R. Yes. Now what? Why? Nothing more. Merry. Mary. Writing again. CHRISTMAS. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Yes, nurse, I understand. Nodding my head to tell you I understand. I can't say it so you can hear me, but in my heart I'm saying it. Merry Christmas, nurse. God bless you. Bells in my town. I'm hearing them in my head, nurse.
'Twas the night before Christmas.
Mother.
And all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse.
Mother, I hear you.
The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in a hope that St. Nicholas soon would be there.
Every Christmas Eve, I remember.
He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like down from a thistle. But I heard him exclaim ere he drove out of sight, Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Merry Christmas, Mother. Merry Christmas, Mother. Nurse. New nurse. Smart nurse. She'll pay attention to me. Old nurse didn't understand. New nurse, you've got to understand. Tapping, I'll start. There, nurse. I did it. Did you understand it? 3, 2, and 3. SOS. Did you understand it? I'll do it again. Morse code. You understand? Morse code. Watch, nurse, watch. If I had a tongue, if I had a mouth, I'd yell it at you. I'd scream it at you. But I have nothing but the tapping of my head, so watch, nurse, watch. If you turn and walk out of the room and never come back, you will be carrying my life with you. You're life and death to me, nurse. Look, I'll tap it again. See? SOS. Help me. SOS. Oh, I'll do it again. I'm praying now, nurse. Me, just an ordinary guy, I'm praying. Oh, please, God, make her understand what I'm trying to tell her. Please, God, make her understand. I know you're a busy guy. I know there are millions of people praying to you every minute. I know all these things, God, and I don't blame you for getting behind in your orders. Nobody's perfect, but What I want is such a little thing. All I want you to do is to take a tiny little idea that's in my mind and put it in her mind 2, maybe 3 feet away. That's all I want, God. Just a little idea that's in my mind and put it in her mind. It's such a little thing, God. Such a little thing. She's going away. She's gone out of the room. No, can't be true. Can't shove me down under the ground again, bury me deep again. No, I won't believe it, I won't. I won't start crying now. She'll come back. She's my life. She's my chance at life. She will come back. She will. Door. She's back. Brought someone with her. Man's finger on my head. What? Finger tapping on my head. Tapping out W. H. Tapping out the code on my head. A. T. W. H. A. T. What? D. O. Y. O. U. Y. O. U. U. W. A. N. T. W. A. N. T. What do you want? What do I want? What do I want? What do I want? I want to get out. Let me out, that's all I want. I've been lying here for years and years in a room in a bed with a little covering of skin. Now I want out. I've got to get out. If I had legs, I could run away. I could get away. I could get out into the open where there's air, where there's room, where I'm not in a hole and smothering. Inside me, I scream and howl and push and fight for room and air, for escape from the smothering, from the loneliness. So, let me out of here and take me back into the world. No, I didn't tap that out. What I just said, I only was thinking. Won't say it to you waiting up there, no. Before I ask you up there, before I tap it out with my head, I've got to think out just what I'm going to tell you. It may be my last chance. I've got it. Listen, you up there. I'm tapping it out with my head. Let me out of here. Let me out. I can earn my keep. I can do a job like anyone else. Take me out of here and build a glass case for me so people can see me. Take me in my glass case to the beaches, to the county fairs and the church bazaars and the circuses and the traveling carnivals. You'll do a wonderful business with me, and I could pay you for the trouble. They've never seen nothing like me. I'm something you can really holler about. I'm the dead man who's alive, the live man who's dead. I'm the man who made the world safe for democracy. Take me into the places where men work and make things. Take me there and say, boys, here's a cheap way to get by. Maybe times are bad and your salaries are low. Don't worry, boys, because you'll have your chance. There'll be another war along pretty soon, and then maybe you'll be lucky like me. Take me into the schoolhouses, all the schoolhouses in the world. They'll scream at first and have nightmares at night, but they'll get used to it because they've got to get used to it. And it's best to start them young. Take me into the colleges and universities and academies and convents. Call the girls together, all the healthy, beautiful young girls. Point to me and say, girls, here is your father. Look, girls, here is your lover. Call all the young men together and say, here is your brother, here is your best friend, and here are you, young men. Take me wherever there are parliaments and diets and congresses and chambers of statesmen. I want to be there when they talk about honor and justice and making the world safe. Put my glass case upon the speaker's desk, and every time the gavel drops, let me feel its vibration through my little glass case. Then let them draft notes and ultimatums and protests and accusations. But before they vote on them, before they give the order for all the little guys to start killing each other, let the main guy rap his gavel on my case and point down at me and say, gentlemen, here is the only issue before this house, and that is, are you for this thing here, or are you against it? And if they are against it, then let them stand up like men and vote. And if they are for it, let them be hanged and drawn and quartered and paraded through the streets and thrown out into the fields where no clean animal will touch them. and may no green thing ever grow where they rot. Take me into your churches, your great towering cathedrals, which have to be rebuilt every 50 years because they are destroyed by war. Carry me in my glass box down the aisles where kings and priests and brides and children at their confirmations have gone so many times before to kiss a splinter of wood from a true cross on which was nailed the body of a man who was lucky enough to die. Set me high on your altars and call on God to look down upon his murderous little children, his dearly beloved little children. Then bring in the fierce ones, the spawners of hate, the inventors of slogans. Bring them in and make them look at me, and then dare them to break the peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we have brought you James Cagney playing the leading role in Dalton Trumbo's memorable novel of the year, Johnny Got His Gun. The book was dramatized for radio by Arch Oboler. The musical score was written, conducted by Gordon Jenkins. Mr. Cagney can now be seen in the Warner Brothers picture, The Fighting 69th, and in the forthcoming production, Torrid Zone. In preparation is City of Conquest. The book, Johnny Got His Gun, is the prize-winning novel by Dalton Trumbo. All of us want to thank Mr. Cagney and Mr. Trumbo for their great contribution to this program. Next week, it is our pleasure to present an actor known and respected by all of us, Mr. Ronald Colman, in an unusual play, The Most Dangerous Game. Next week, then, Mr. Ronald Colman. Arch Oboler's Plays are a presentation of the National Broadcasting Company. Tonight's play came to you from Hollywood's Radio City. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Quiet, please. Quiet, please. The Mutual Broadcasting System presents Quiet, Please, which is written and directed by Willis Cooper and which features Ernest Chappell. Quiet, Please for tonight is called Symphony in D minor.
Personally, I believe in the law of the jungle. I believe that the fight goes to the strong, to the one that's smarter, to the one that ought to win. I've made my way in life that way. You can't tell me anything different. I never got past high school myself. I had too much to do to waste time going to college. Gad, I did it. I've got just about everything I ever wanted. What I haven't got yet, I'll get. The only thing I ask of anybody is get out of my way. Either that or get out of my way. One-sided or wheel off. That's my motto. Friend, I may take a wheel off just for good luck. Let's not have any misunderstandings about me. I'm tough, and I know it. I got nothing against you. If I had, you wouldn't be just sitting there listening. You'd be out of luck, like a certain party is going to be one of these days very soon, which I'm going to tell you about shortly. Look, friend, don't get the idea that just because I'm tough, I'm not smart. Because I am. Because I'm going to show you shortly just how smart I am. You want to hear? Good. Last night I was a guest in his house. A very interesting evening. You see, he's a psychologist, a very smart man, degrees, honors, knowledge. A beautiful wife. And black glasses. Yeah, that's right, he's blind. Very convenient for certain parties. For example, a party named Carol, his wife. For a party named Ray. It's me. See what I mean, friend? You don't? Yeah, you will shortly. He was sitting on a blue Davenport. Oh, I didn't tell you his name. Johannes. I'll just call him Johannes so you'll not get too much of a line on him. I wouldn't want anybody to slip him any information he shouldn't have, you know. Well, he was sitting on the blue Davenport. Carol was upstairs finishing a radio script. Yeah, she's very smart. But she'll have to stop that after she marries me. I don't want any wife of mine working. So anyway, Johannes and I were sitting there, batting the breeze, as you'd say in the Quartermaster Corps. I was bored, but Johannes wasn't. He just keeps right on talking.
Difference whether you believe it or not, Ray. It's a scientific fact. And I have occasion to use it a great deal.
It's bunk. Like all the rest of this psychology racket.
I'm not going to try to convince you.
Oh, you can't convince me.
I could, though.
Look, Johannes, I don't believe in it. And even if I did, I know you can't hypnotize a person against his will.
You think so?
I know so.
You want to try a little experiment?
No.
Well, there's no point in it. You're sure a man can't be hypnotized if he doesn't want to be?
Sure.
Well, I won't argue with you. Look, hand me that push button on the extension cord there by the desk.
This?
By the desk.
This is the only thing. Is that it? Here.
Thank you.
What's it for?
It's a gadget I have. Listen.
What's that?
Make you sleepy?
Oh, it hurts my ears.
Might make you sleepy. Has a very interesting sound. Listen to it carefully, Ray. See if it doesn't give you a kind of heavy, drowsy feeling. Make you want to just lie back and shut your eyes and think about sleeping.
It's a lot of bunk.
So many people find it's an ideal way to go to sleep. It's better than sleeping pills. It's better than a soft feather bed. Just relaxes your mind so you can't think of anything but just going to sleep.
I wish you'd turn it off.
I can go to sleep in 30 seconds with it if I want to. You could, too. You could sleep right away if you wanted to. If you'd relax. That's it. You're getting sleepy already, aren't you?
I am not.
Nothing like sleep. Nothing like relaxing back in that nice, soft, easy chair and letting your head fall back and taking deep breaths. Deep breaths the way you do when you're asleep. Take 5 deep breaths, Ray. See what happens.
It's a lot of nonsense.
No, it's good sense, Ray. Try sleeping. Make you feel better. Shut your eyes and listen to that sound. Relax. Breathe deeply. Take it easy. And sleep. And sleep. And sleep. And sleep.
And I was so bored I just dropped off to sleep a minute while he was mumbling away. I wasn't asleep a minute, but you know how it is. You get bored listening to somebody yada-da-yada-da, and, yeah, you know. I woke up when Carol opened the door and came in. I got right up out of my chair. She startled me, I guess. I never was so glad to see anybody. I was bored with Johannes. And the funniest thing happened. Johannes whistled, and I walked right over to Carol without thinking what I was doing, and I kissed her. Now, why the devil did I do that? I said, kind of stupid, because I was scared right in front of him. And Johannes nearly had a fit laughing.
Said you couldn't be hypnotized, Ray.
What are you talking about?
You were out like a light, my friend.
I was not.
And I gave you a post-hypnotic suggestion that when I whistled, you were to kiss Carol.
Are you kidding, Johannes?
Of course I'm not kidding. You're the most natural hypnotic subject I've ever run across. Why, you can be hypnotized at the drop of a hat without even knowing it.
Now, what do you think of that? Well, I'll tell you what I think. I think this character, Johannes, is smarter than I thought he was. Not smarter than I am, certainly, but smart. Even though he doesn't suspect anything, and even though he can't see, I have got to be careful. Haven't I, Carol? I'll see you tonight about 7:45, huh? It sure is too bad your husband can't go to the theater with us. Isn't it? I go in, I sit down, and I look at Johannes. I give him a very large, affable hello. I say, well, how you doing, Svengali?
I hope you didn't mind that little experiment last night, Ray.
No, it was very interesting and instructive, Johannes.
Yes, it was. Very instructive.
Yeah, I should say so. I'm going to watch out for you.
Hmm?
I don't want to be stretched out over 2 chairs with people breaking rocks on my chest. I saw that once when I was a kid in a vaudeville show.
Oh, I don't do things like that.
I sure hope not.
Yeah.
Hey, now.
You asleep, Ray?
Yes. I'm asleep.
You went to sleep very easily this time, didn't you?
Yes. You told me last night to go to sleep whenever I heard that sound.
You didn't like the sound.
No, I didn't. But I do now. It puts me to sleep.
You know you're to do anything I tell you to do.
Oh, yeah, sure.
If I told you to bark like a dog, or sing for me, that's enough. And tell me the truth about everything.
Oh, yes, Johannes.
What about Carol?
I'm going to take her away from you, Johannes.
That's what you said last night.
Oh, yes, I remember.
Do you love her, Ray?
Not especially. But she's pretty, and I'd rather have her than to have you have her.
She's my wife, Ray.
I know it.
Why, Ray, don't you think it's rather reprehensible to steal a man's wife? Especially a blind man who doesn't know what's going on?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
Well, it is.
I guess it is if you say so, Johannes.
Does Carol love you, Ray?
She says she does.
No. I used to love her myself. Quite a great deal, as a matter of fact, Ray.
That's too bad.
But after what you told me last night and now, I realize that she's been playing me for a sucker. Hasn't she?
She sure has.
You think I should love her now?
No.
Well, I don't.
Good.
Ray, what would you do if your wife ran away with another man?
I haven't got a wife, Johannes. Yet.
But if you did have one who played you for a sucker the way Carol's played me, would you kill her?
Of course I'd kill her.
All right. Ray, you kill Carol.
All right. When?
Well, now, we don't want to get me mixed up in this little act of simple justice, do we, Ray?
Oh, no, of course not.
Well, then, we'll have to do it some time and some place when I'm not around.
All right, Johannes. You say when and where.
How about your place?
All right.
As a matter of fact, you and Carol weren't really going to the theater tonight, were you?
Oh, no, we're going out to a nightclub where we can be alone for a while.
I see. Well, couldn't you stop by your place tonight?
All right. Stop by my place tonight.
Now, let's see. You're a music lover, aren't you, Ray?
Oh, yes.
And you have a phonograph.
And lots of records.
Help me to the piano.
All right. There. Feel it?
Yes, yes.
Sit down.
Let's see. You know this.
Oh, yes.
Symphony in D minor by César Franck.
Symphony in D minor by César Franck.
Well, when you get to your place, you put this symphony on the phonograph
All right.
And when you come to this part,
when I come to that part,
you go and strangle Carol.
I go and strangle Carol.
Murder her.
Murder Carol.
That's right. When you hear this.
All right, Johannes. When I hear that, I murder Carol.
All right.
What are you playing, Ray? Oh, it's you, Johanna.
Sounds like a funeral hymn, a little. Doesn't it, Carol? Wake up, Ray.
This is better than going to the theater someplace. Isn't it, dear?
But I don't like being here, Ray.
Ah, it's all right. Don't you like listening to music?
I like listening to music, all right, darling, but do you realize there isn't any music?
What?
The machine stopped, sweetheart.
Oh. Well, I'll start it again. Kiss me first.
You turn on some more lights first.
Isn't it bright enough in here?
Creepy, Ray. Keep feeling as if something's going to happen.
Oh, don't be silly. What could happen?
Nothing, sweetheart. I just feel that way.
All right. Is that better?
Much better. Now you can kiss me.
Thanks. Oh, your lips are cold.
I tell you, I feel scary.
Oh, stop. Let's listen to the music.
I love Cesar Frank.
And me?
And me.
Okay.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
Listen.
Never mind who this is. Just go to apartment 1603A at the address I gave you, and you'll find a woman murdered and the murderer there with her. That's right. Never mind, I know. Go at once, officer. You don't want to keep them waiting.
Oh, it's so beautiful. You could die to that music.
Carol, I love you.
Ray, I love you.
Car 32, apartment 1603A, 444 Stewart Street. Investigate. Car 32, apartment 1603A, 444 Stewart Street. Investigate. That is all.
Who is it?
Police officers.
What?
It's police officers.
Wait just a minute. What do you...
We had a call to investigate. What do you got all the lights off for?
Huh? Somebody blew out a fuse, officer.
It did, eh?
Right in the middle of a record we were playing.
Yeah.
The Cesar Frank D minor Symphony.
Hey, Curly, flash a light in here. Are you all right, lady?
Certainly I'm all right.
Well, that ain't the way we got it.
Well, that's the way it is.
Listen a minute. Your telephone, mister. No, wait. I'll get it.
Now, what the devil?
What in the world, Ray? Johanna?
Oh, now the lights are back.
Oh. I'd better turn that off.
Wait a minute, Carol.
Somebody's playing a joke on you, mister. I hope.
Who was it?
Somebody wanted to know if the lady was dead. I I said she certainly ain't. I says they was playing Frank D. Minor's Sympathy and the fuse blew out. And then he hung up.
Johannes.
You want me to go lock him up? You know him?
No. Carol. I remember. Quick, turn off the record.
Oh, what's the matter?
Turn it off.
Hey, now, what are you going to do over there? What are you busting the records for, Mac?
Why, excuse me, officer. I just remembered something. Something a man didn't have time to tell me to forget. You see, even the smart boys forget. If he'd told me to forget that post-hypnotic suggestion of his about murdering Carol when I heard that music, he'd have been all right. I'd never have known the difference. He'd have had another chance at me. But he forgot to tell me. And so, he doesn't know what I know. He doesn't know what I'm going to do. Carol's in there talking to him now. Carol opened the window. Sure, I told her all about it. She's in it with me. She opened the window. A poor blind guy, a blind would-be murderer. Nobody will wonder much if a poor blind guy made a mistake and fell out a window. It's a long drop. Everybody will be so sorry. His poor wife. And me. And him, I bet. That's what you get for being too smart for your size, huh? I'd give a quarter to hear the line of talk that's going on in there now. Carol is sweet as pie. Johanna's thinking fast while she sets it all up. You'd never suspect a thing. Oh, man, we're in. Give a quarter to know what they're saying in there. Must be good. That must be rich.
I won't fail the next time, Carol.
Oh, no, Johannes.
He didn't kill you, so you have to kill him.
Whatever you say, Johannes, I'll kill him.
It'll be a little poetic justice, won't it?
Oh, yes, Johannes.
You know that Frank D. Minor theme, Carol?
Oh, yes. It's beautiful.
The one that was to be a signal for him to strangle you.
Oh, yes. The one that goes... Da, 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 da.
That's it. Whenever you hear that melody, Carol, you'll murder Ray.
Whenever I hear the music, I'll murder Ray.
Whenever.
Whenever.
You'll take a knife and stab him.
I'll take a knife and stab him.
When you hear... Come in. Forget it, Carol. Wake up.
Hi, hello, Ray.
All over. Too bad, Carol, wasn't it?
It's a shame.
Well, he never knew what hit him.
And we're both out of it nicely, darling.
Ain't it wonderful?
Oh, I just shudder to think what would have happened if that fuse hadn't blown out, darling.
And if I hadn't remembered. Well, I'll never have to worry about that music again. It's so pretty. I hate to think what might...
Ray.
Huh?
I'm still afraid of it.
Oh, don't be silly.
I am.
Oh, stop it.
I never want to hear it again.
Well, you're going to hear it.
Ray, please.
Well, now, listen, baby, we might as well get this straight now.
Ray, please.
Listen, darling.
Ray, darling. What have I done?
title of tonight's Quiet Please story was Symphony in D minor. It was written and directed by Willis Cooper, and the man who spoke to you was Ernest Chappell.
Then Charita Bauer played Carol, James Van Dyke was Johannes, and the police officer was Pat O'Malley. As usual, music for Quiet Please, including the theme by Cesar Frank, is played by Albert Berman. Now, here is our writer-director, Willis Cooper.
They were all creations of my own again, nor did they represent anybody living or dead. As you already know, this is the last broadcast of Quiet Please on this network. I'm grateful to Bob Berman, our engineer, and to Al April, our very good sound effects technician, for their 63 weeks of help. For the further adventures of Quiet Please, I recommend you read your newspaper next Sunday.
And so from now on this network, I am quite quietly yours, Ernest Chappell.
This will be the last broadcast in the present series of Quiet Please. In its place for the next 4 weeks, Mutual will present over most of these stations a new series of dramatic programs dealing with atomic energy. Be sure to be with us at this time next week and the 3 weeks following for Mutual's new series on atomic energy. This program was heard in Canada through the facilities of the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. This is the world's largest network, the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Well, that's our show for tonight. I want to thank you all for listening. And remember, you can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/terror1970, or you can find me on Instagram at Radio Show Nerd. I also have a YouTube channel, Terror Radio. Please check it out. Subscribe, like, and share the videos. Will be highly appreciated. Again, this is your host, Keith, better known as the Radio Show Nerd, signing off.